Shabbat Shalom, family. Good to see everyone here. Hope you're doing well. Well, we're going to talk about some of the opinions that have been posted since Noah Wells' demise. And some of it is really interesting, because I remember years ago when these things would happen, white people would pretty much be silent. They wouldn't really say much, but it's really have this one, I notice a big difference. Many of them are more inclined to coming online and speaking what they think. And I'm astonished at the amount of white people that are coming on advising black people, from children to adults, to stay away from crowds of white people. Don't go anywhere. Even they're telling you, don't be no only black friend. And I was listening to a woman yesterday, and she was saying if you are black and you are friends with a white person and you're their only black friend, she said, just stay away from them. Stay away from them. It's not even, she said, it's best not to even continue the friendship. Just stay away from them. Now, I know I have been saying for years, I've been saying it since I've been on YouTube, that no, y'all can't do that only black person stuff. That has never been safe. Never, never. And the what happened to Noah has happened to probably hundreds or even thousands of our people. And look at how many missing people from our community goes unresolved. you know things are just real shady in this country, and it's always been that way, racism being the biggest component of it. But now I'm seeing more white people than ever before speak out against what happened to Nolan. So we're gonna watch some of those videos. Now, yeah, there were some. Oh, well, what about the white kids? Oh, it's not fair. I don't want to hear that, because we hear that all the time. We hear that all the time. Whatever. So anyway, y'all, let me share my screen. Shabbat shalom to everybody in the chat. No, not that one. All right, hold on. Hold on. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I found this scrolling on social media. Let me know what y'all think about this.
Saw TikTok where every one of the boys who was with Nolan has deleted everything from their social media, which is a white response. A human response is to pour all of your energy and effort into grief, if not support, for what has happened. But a white response is to implode on the self and to uphold and protect and perpetuate whiteness and protect it like a virus. So when black people say they would never send their black child to be alone with a group of white people, I fully support that. And if I had a black child, I would say and do the same thing. If you were white and you don't understand why black people wouldn't send their kid to be alone with just white people, then you are not safe to be left alone with a black child. Even racist white people can acknowledge that black culture is valuable. And the problem is sometimes that worth that black people bring to the table is exploited by white people. So it gets them into relationships where people are really consuming them rather than being in relationship with them, which is a trap. It's no credit to a white person for them to see the value in black culture. But white culture in its nature is exploitative, and it will take. So it's important that we teach our children not to mistake relationship for consumption. And that same system has been evolving to protect white people and has been perfected over hundreds of years, sort of like an apex predator or a great white that has been evolved to be the perfect predator. I saw a TikTok where every one of the boys who was with Nolan has deleted everything from their social media, which is a white response. A human response is to pour all of your energy and effort into grief, if not support, for what has happened. But a white response is to implode on the self and to uphold and protect and perpetuate whiteness and protect it like a virus. So when black people say they would never send their black child to be alone with a group of white people, I fully support that. And if I had a black child, I would say and do the same thing.
Let me know what y'all think about this down in the comment section. This woke white woman tells the truth about this Nolan Wells situation.
If the situations were reversed, if the circumstances were reversed, and it was 3 black boys who took a white boy out and the 3 black boys came back and the white boy did not, it wouldn't matter that they didn't know what happened. Those 3 black boys would have been in handcuffs. Those 3 black boys would still be in questioning to this day. I can see the Fox News headline now, right? They would have used it as proof. See, we told you black people were dangerous. We told you black people were bad.
And that's big facts. The double standard is real in America. If 3 black boys went to an island with 1 white boy, and those 3 black boys came back from that island without that 1 white boy, and that 1 white boy was found dead, those 3 black boys would immediately be arrested, and those 3 black boys would immediately be looked at as guilty. Not only did those 3 white boys leave that black boy on the island, but they have now all deactivated their social media accounts and lawyered up. Their parents have also deactivated their social media accounts.
Okay, I have a message to white people. Please stop. I am so tired of hearing people say that what has happened to Nolan Wells, that race is not a factor. It it is driving me absolutely insane. And look, I understand why people are saying it because they want it to be true. They want to believe it. And I want to believe that too. I want to believe that an 18-year-old man, a black 18-year-old man, can go out on the lake with an entire group of all white friends and end up the only one dead and race not be a factor. I want to believe that. However, when our black community is saying this case brings up fear and suspicion and memories of other tragedies that have involved black people where there have been a lot of unanswered questions, instead of telling them they're wrong, we've got to listen. Our own desire for comfort cannot be the priority because I have never lived life in America as a black person. I do not have those experiences. I do not carry that history. So who on earth am I to tell someone else that what they are experiencing and what they are feeling is not real? We have got to have enough humility to understand and accept that someone else's lived experiences may reveal things that I can't see from where I stand. So again, I think that people want to believe that race isn't a factor because that's where we're comfortable. But our comfort is not prioritization over truth, and it's certainly not prioritization over someone else's experience and someone else's feeling. So again, what we need to do is listen, and what we also need to do is ask ourselves why we are so quick to reject the possibility that race is a factor in this.
I know it's important that we have a conversation about black children, black people, black humans in predominantly white spaces. That said, I feel like so much of the conversation right now is just a layer of guilt that's being placed on the mother of Nolan Wells and on the father of Nolan Wells as if they did something wrong. And they did their job. Every story, every account, every coach and parent who speaks of him just speaks so highly of the child that they raised. They did their job. They raised a smart, brilliant, kind, dedicated. Being a college athlete is a lot of work, who sacrificed, like all those things. They did a good job. They raised a good boy. The people who didn't do their jobs are the mothers of those white boys. They didn't raise good children. They themselves are not good people. But Nolan Wells' mother is a great mother, and she should not have any layer of guilt about what happened that day. I know that as a mom, I'm going to sit here and weigh, like, I should have done this, I should have done that. You raised a beautiful boy that everyone freaking loved. Those people didn't raise a good children.
I will never, ever, ever begrudge Black folks and folks of color for saying they do not trust white people. And I'm terribly upsetting example of that is what happened to Nolan Wells. He spent 4th of July weekend with 3 of his friends who he thought were friends, and they are white. He is black. And Nolan Wells died. We don't know what happened. I'm not going to speculate. That doesn't do anything for anybody. But we as white people have not given people of color, especially black folks in America, any reasons to trust us as a collective group of people. Full stop. And if you are a white person and you are bothered when black folks say they don't trust white people, think of this moment. Think of the unfortunately countless other moments in American history where white people have been instigators of violent crimes against black people. Because whether you like it or not, that is American history. It is. And you can't escape it. But we can do something to change it. And that starts with every one of us white people interrogating the white supremacist ideologies that we were raised with and our society was built upon, and it is our job to undo it. May Nolan's soul find some peace, and may his family find some justice.
If my son was with a bunch of people and he was the only one that didn't come back alive, nobody would come back alive. All of them would be dead. That's what should happen. And there's a reason why black people don't trust white people. This isn't happening in a vacuum. Nolan Wells was a member of the team, went to the same school, was friends with all of them. Except he's the one that ended up dying. He's the one, his actions got questioned because he's black. If it was a bunch of white kids, they wouldn't ask, well, what was he doing? What was he saying? What was his behavior? Those are the kind of questions that are being asked because he's black. But all of them should fucking die. If that kid didn't come back alive, none of them should have.
I got a message for white people. So if you're not white, I guess keep scrolling. If your skin looks like this, I'm going to hold your hand while I say this to you. It is not your job, your place, your right to dismiss, diminish, criticize, question the lived experience of people of color. It is not your job to define what is racist and not racist. I have deleted so many white friends on social media in the last 48 hours because of the Horde Island, Mississippi case involving Nolan Wells. Black people should be outraged. Black people should be absolutely fucking outraged. They should be asking questions and demanding answers. I pray for his family. I pray that this was a tragic accident. Okay? However, history has a really funny way of repeating itself, and I did some digging this morning, and I was searching and sleuthing the internet for cases similar to Nolan Wells, and the number of times that a black child or black adult goes missing or is after they have spent time in a predominantly white space. And it's disturbing. So I understand that there are a lot of different versions of events circulating the internet, but white people, I'm going to need you to sit down on this one. I'm going to need you to take a seat, because black people, the black community, they are responding because of lived experiences, because of how these cases play out, because there are so many times where an innocent black child or innocent black adult is no longer with us after spending time in a white space, and there is never a conviction. There are no answers. For all the white people on my social media platform saying, just let law enforcement do their job, black people pulling the race card, they should. And law enforcement clearly does not always do their job. Okay, so again, it is not your job as a white person to decide what is racist or not. And if you come into my comments talking shit or I'll block you first of all, but not after I investigate you fully. Okay, like I'll find you because that's what my background is in. And I'll probably contact your employer. So again, white people, shut the fuck up and sit down.
Nolan Wells wasn't killed by his friends. And this investigation just started. I mean, his body was found just yesterday. Give the investigation some time before we start hearing these crazy ass stories. And the amount of people that are saying that he was killed because he was the token black guy in his friend group is fucking insane.
Yeah, we're not doing that shit. What you make it out to be is like some innocent. Well, it's not the friends. Don't get after the friends. No, what you're doing is you're victim blaming. You're putting this at the feet of Nolan Wells. Like he is somehow at fault for what happened to him. The fact that he is dead is on Nolan Wells and nobody else because it can't be his friends. Where's the human sympathy in this? Where's the address of Nolan Wells, the person, and saying, I'm sorry for the loss, for the family's loss, who lost a son, for Nolan Wells, who lost his future. You're going to come on here and immediately take up the side of something you know nothing about? You say we know nothing about it. You know nothing about it either. So don't come on here and put this at the feet of Nolan Wells. The young man is dead. Somebody is responsible. And people need to figure it the fuck out.
All right, y'all. Boy, you can tell we are getting near the end. There are so many things happening in this world. And I'm starting to see things happen to them on a scale that I never saw before. And it is absolutely crazy. I don't know if any of you get any type of news in your emails. You know, I always get the alerts and everything, but they're not getting away with things quite like they used to. Things have definitely changed dramatically. I want to show y'all something that came to my email this morning. Y'all know there is a wildfire going on in Spain. It's a wildfire going on in Spain. And it was people traveling down a road in their cars, and they literally all got burnt to death in their cars from the fire. So their cars literally turned into their coffin. And I know what happened to Nolan. You know, we all are feeling it. But one thing I always notice, a standing pattern: whenever things are done to us, just sit back and wait. Usually, like a day or even a few days later, you'll see something happen to them. And it's usually in numbers. So, a bunch of people over in Spain got burnt up traveling down a road when a wildfire was going on. And I guess they didn't anticipate the fire would, hit them on the road, but it did. It did. So, no, don't ever think they are getting away with something. That has never been true. And don't think that the Most High will not get even more in the next few days. And what I mean is, y'all, there is another heat dome over America, but this time, instead of the East Coast, it's going to be more of the Midwest. So they're going to be in triple digits from now until the very end of the month. The heat dome is not going to move, y'all. These folks in the Midwest are going to endure triple digit temperatures from now until the very end of July. Do you know how many people are going to perish? These folks can't handle those kind of temperatures. That's why you're seeing them all drop like flies over there in Europe. Well, those same temperatures are about to hit in the Midwest in America, and they're talking about some places can go as high as 115 degrees. So they are now part of the heat dome. Now, we are going to get a little bit of it if you're on the East Coast. We are going to get 4 days in the 90s, and that's it. That's all we're getting from this heat dome. But the ones that are going to take the biggest brunt of it are in the Midwest. So, oh yeah, honey, it is, the heat is definitely coming, and it's going to unalive a lot of people. It is, even here. Even here. 111 in Virginia, Breeze Omega. Yeah, that's crazy. But this is going to be Texas, the northern part of Texas, and then you'll see, because I'll be showing you this at I think at 5:45 today, because we have our Bible study coming up at 1:45, and I'll be showing you, and the dome is huge. And can you imagine a heat dome parking? Because that's what it's doing at a certain on a certain area, several states, and it's going to stay parked there until the end of July. That is like crazy to me. That is crazy. So no, the Most High is getting these people for the all the dirt they have done. Oh yeah, they're not getting away with anything. I know it seems like it sometimes, but they're not. So, y'all, thank you so much for being here. And please enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. And those of you that will be coming to Bible study, I will see you at 1:45. If you don't, you're not really into that thing, have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Shabbat Shalom.